Everything's broken, and nothing's going right.
Hello and welcome to Basement Fodder, the only show whose hosts are the World Tag Team Champions of not giving a fuck. I'm Todd.
I'm Dave.
I don't know if we have or not.
Yeah, we used that one.
We may have. I don't care anymore.
Yeah, that one was like...
There's some variation of that, yes. Yeah. Well, you know, it's still true, so it doesn't really have any difference.
Fair enough.
I'm pretty sure we used, like, the upper decker in the bathroom at Wayne Manor a couple times, too. But
No, we only use that one.
Well, you know what? We've done 160 episodes, pretty much, so, like, eventually shit's gonna rerun.
Yeah, I was like, shit.
I'm only so creative, alright?
We gotta get writers.
I just worked 10 hours, like, well, not really 10, but, like, I was just there for 10.
Yeah.
But, So we've been having fun. We've been working, both of us, a lot. And it really is draining. Like, I'm a third shift guy, and you're a third shift guy, but, like, it does make you sleep more than you would normally sleep, I think.
Yeah.
Especially lately, because I've just been too tired to fucking care about anything.
I've been trying to, like, get up and go out and do stuff. It's just been rough.
Yeah, I think we need to maybe, like, tag team each other. And, like, well, not like that, but you know what I mean? Like, getting up and doing, like, hey, man, like, wake up and do shit. Let's do shit, you know? Let's go to the pool or something.
Yeah, like, it's been a little bit trickier and stuff.
It's hard with me sometimes, because when I'm asleep, I'm fucking asleep.
Yeah. Well, I think it's something, we do need to do. So,
and we need to start swimming more, man.
Swimming, and I need to go to DAG practice on Thursdays.
Yeah, you didn't do that the other day, did you?
No, I didn't.
I slept right through that fucker. I woke up
I especially need to now because, like, I did something yesterday that was interesting. Like,
alright. Well, I woke up the other night when you said you were going to do it, and it was time for me to go to work, and I asked the kid, like, oh, did Uncle Dave leave? And she was like, no.
Uncle Dave is fucking
did.
Yeah.
But we did, on Friday morning, though, we did go to the annual Half Price Books mega sale, so we could visit every copy of Meet the Fockers ever minted.
Which I was surprisingly saw, like, a few. Like, that really wasn't that many of them.
I didn't see as many as I seen in the other times we went.
Yeah.
But there was a few. It was at least one per every 3 boxes I looked at. But we did actually end up finding a lot of cool shit. They had a lot of, like, seasons of stuff for cheap and a shitload of comics. This is the first time they really had comics.
Oh, dude, they had a ton of
Yeah,
comics.
I got a big fucking stack
And
of
it was
comics.
like
They're
a
all 50
50
cents.
box. Yeah,
And it's a direct result, like we were talking about, of the fact that they fucking charge $1 for their clearance comics now.
Yeah. Like, everything, unless marked otherwise, is like $2, and it's $1 for, like, everything else.
And nobody wants to pay that.
Yeah, nobody
Because
really
most of their clearance shit's not in great condition.
Yeah. Like, it's pretty rough. But especially now when you can go to a comic shop and get, like, most of that stuff for, you know, that price in pretty much box-boarded condition.
True, exactly. Most comic book shops have, you know, dollar back issues at this point.
Yeah.
But we decided, like, oh, we're going to go the first day, you know, because go early, right when it opens. Like, apparently everybody had that idea, because there was a line out the fucking wazoo.
Everybody had that idea for multiple things. I tried to get up early Saturday morning to fucking go get my oil changed at, like, because the thing opens up at 7, and then there was, like, every old motherfucker was like, I need to get my oil changed too. And I was like, oh,
you gotta do that shit during the week. Like, get off work and go straight there or something. Like, fucking, because during the week it's not as bad.
At that time, I had been trying to call Walmart and be like, when does your thing open up?
Yeah.
Nobody ever answers the fucking phone.
I think it actually opens at 7.
It's 7.
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
But
I know that now, so I'm like, okay.
We got there, and it had been, like, kind of overcast and rainy and shit. And it just started to sprinkle when we got there.
And, man, there was a fucking line.
Oh, my God. But it moved, like,
It moved
instantly.
really quick, yeah, because the moment they let him in...
We were there when they opened the doors and shit, and, like, they only had a limited number of shopping carts, and those things were gone before we even hit the door.
Yeah. Luckily enough, we were able to get baskets, because those were gone. Then they started a line just for people to get baskets and carts.
Carts, right. So, but, like, they had a fuckload of DVDs, and, like, I even found a Blu-ray, a couple of Blu-rays in there. I actually picked up a Blu-ray of the Italian Job Special Edition, which I love that movie.
I got extended edition of both Fellowship and Two Towers.
Two Towers, the cool-ass book edition.
Box set,
fucking... trying to think of what else. I got the Muppet Show first 2 seasons, and both seasons...
Paranormal State.
Yeah, that was the one you got. Yeah,
I love that one.
I got the Dinosaur Show, both seasons of that. I got fucking first season of Metalocalypse.
I got the first season, I think, of first or second season of Venture Brothers.
Yeah.
But I have the third season. Remember, I found that at the Goodwill too.
And I got the second season, I think, of Robot Chicken.
Yep.
And I think at least one more.
Yeah.
And I found these really cool tin signs. One was like a classic Jack Kirby Fantastic Four, which is fucking awesome, for $1. Yeah. And a Superman tin sign for $1, which is sweet. You found the one and only Funko Pop in the entire building.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. It was $1, and it was Rain from Big Trouble in Little China.
And some bitch tried to steal it, too.
Yeah, some bitch tried to get fucking grabbed.
We were over looking at the comics, and Dave was like, flipping through comics, and I was basically like doing the thing that we do when we go to these sales: get everything you think is interesting, and then sort it out and figure out what you're actually going to buy. Yeah. So I'm like sorting shit out on this little stage because it was in the Lausch building, which is a lot of the shit around here now is in the Lausch building. Yeah. But fucking this chick walks up and like starts reaching for like, oh look, a Funko Pop, and I'm like, oh, that's taken. Get the fuck away from there. Yeah. She's like, were there any more? No. Bye-bye. I'll tell you what, there's some fucking pushy feely motherfuckers in there too.
Oh god, dude! Like I had one girl literally like humping the back of my thigh to move out of her way so she could get her big tubbo fucker ass in the goddamn comic section. Like, I mean, dude, I don't know ficuses that haven't been humped this hard by a dog. Like, this bitch was like, apparently my leg was a fucking chicken wing or something. She was like, nom, 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 getting the fuck on there. It was bad.
There's this schlubby little chick in fucking a hat that had 9,000 buttons all over it and this backpack and shit. And I swear to God, she must have fucking rammed into my ass about 9 fucking times trying to reach in, get past me to look at fucking some comics. I'm like, bitch, calm down. I swear to God, I will move in a minute when I'm done. She just kept like ramrodding her like body into me like a fucking robot, like walking into a wall, like wang, wang. I'm like, ugh.
Like, she basically was like, you will give up ground. Like,
I did that forearm, like a back forearm, and smacked her in the gut, and she was like, ugh, and walked away.
Yeah, fuck up. Dude, I was like getting...
Got a muscle for that shit, baby.
I was getting run over left and right by motherfuckers that were like, just... I'm going up the line, and I'm standing here looking at something, and I'm seeing them out of my peripherals coming up the line and shit. Yeah. And I'm like, I'm not moving. Like, I'm here. This is the spot I have been in for the last...
Stand your ground!
No, I had almost an old lady in a wheelchair run my foot over because she was just like, no, I'm going right up the thing, and I was like...
bitch.
Motherfuckers like just slam the shit out of me with their carts and stuff. Like, it was one of those things where I'm like, the moment I go to say something, that's when one of the people are going to come by and be like, all right, sir, you need to leave.
Yeah. Like, people were, I mean, it was like a half step above a fucking fight in there. Like, for some fucking, like, nothing in there was under fucking over $2, and people were elbowing for shit. Like,
I mean, dude, like, I saw some people, though, they were coming out of it, though, because, like, there was the one lady, remember that cart she had?
Jesus!
It had just opened up, and her cart literally was overflowing with DVDs. Right. I don't know how unless she literally just started grabbing boxes and flipping them.
It opened at 9 o'clock, and at 9:05, this bitch's cart was chock full, like, a fucking...
Of all the seasons of, like, Buffy, like every Joss Whedon show you could think of that.
It looked like the fucking, when you go to the grocery store on the first of the month and the fucking food stamp cards come in and shit. Like, it was ridiculous. And fucking this old man in the comics, like, was really pissing me off. Yeah. He's this little old man. He's probably like 80. Yeah. And man, he was digging hard in the comics, and he had his gear, man. He had a backpack on with water and shit coming out. And he had a little seat. Little like fucking stool that was like one of those little fold up camp stools and shit.
Comic checklist.
Yeah, a little comic checklist.
Had the comic checklist thing. The guy in the blue shirt who was talking to him was the one that was pissing me off.
I hated that guy too. But this little old man, he was determined to fucking make a friend, and I was not going to be making it today because the shit he was saying was really getting on my nerves. He was like trash talking Legends of Tomorrow and then basically the entire Arrowverse and shit.
He was bringing out that like true fan machismo sexism shit.
Yeah.
What he's talking about.
Yeah, he was like, that legend stuff, they try to bring Justice Society in there and piss all over it because they think ain't nobody around that loves it anymore and remembers how it's supposed to be. He was like, they got Vixen in there and there wouldn't be no black woman empowered in that time in World War II. That just wouldn't happen. And I'm like, God damn, motherfucker. Was like
supposed to be a kid, all this shit. And I was like,
dude.
Fuck you. And the guy was just right along with him, like, yeah, fucking, the true fan. And I'm like, the true fan. I'm like, are we Zeke Highland here? True fan? Like, true believer?
Step the fuck out of here,
I was
dickface.
like, you guys can fuck the fuck off. We don't need true fans like that.
I know that you and Moses were tight in high school and shit, but you need to fucking calm down. Like, seriously, I'm a Justice Society fan. You guys know from listening to the show, I'm the world's biggest JSA fan. And I don't ever see it as they're, like, trying to, change it or minimalize it or anything. What it is they're trying to make fucking new comic fans get turned on to it.
Yeah.
Like, half the people that are watching Flash and Arrow are under 20. They've never heard of the fucking Justice Society. They're like, what the fuck is that? But say this 20-year-old fan or 19-year-old fan or whatever is watching that show and they see this Justice Society of America and shit, they might be like, oh, what's this? And then look into it and then find out that it's a proud fucking legacy of the DC universe and shit. Like, this is done with love. It's not done with, like, reference or whatever. And then the fact that with the fucking, the black characters and stuff, like, really, does that matter to you? Like, they talk about her origins and they explain, how it's brought up constantly how she was treated in that time period and shit. So it's not like they're fucking just magically saying, like, oh no, there wasn't any problems with racism in the 40s. Like, they're constantly addressing that shit.
And that's the other thing too, is if you look at that Vixen, that's her grandmother.
Yeah.
Like, that's Vixen that we know of in the comics, grandmother.
Yes, and like right, of course, in comic accuracy, and of course they weren't in there. Yeah. Like, those characters didn't exist at that time, but it doesn't fucking matter. Like, they have creative license to do that on those shows. They have creative license to reimagine these characters in a way that fits the universe.
But these guys will fucking sit here and say they love their Elseworlds books, and I'm like, that's all this is a fucking Elseworlds show. Like, was this one pocket, like, especially in the Arrowverse, where they've already mentioned the multiverse. The Flash is nothing but talked about it. And so it exists. There's nothing to say that this is exactly the Earth Prime. Yeah, they allude to it in the show. They say, like, oh, this is Earth Prime. Every Earth thinks they're Earth Prime until, they start.
Well, they even make a joke about that at some point, because when, like, Earth 2 Wells is there, he's like, oh, yeah, to me, you're Earth 2. Like, my world is the Prime world. Like,
everyone has done that.
Exactly. Like, there's nothing to say this is supposed to be, like, Prime comic world. Like, this is just another fucking world.
And if anybody, and I mean anybody, deserves to be shown in the spotlight right now, I definitely would say it would be Vixen, because that woman had a hell of a fucking comic run. That is one of, I would say, a hugely loved character that never really, I feel, kind of got her true dues. Like, she was showcased really well in a group setting, but they never really too much gave her her own stuff. Then they gave her, the animated stuff, then they brought her onto the shows, it did really well, and then they moved her into fucking Legends, which I think was beautiful. But, to fucking sit there and start throwing out some fucking hate shit, I'm like, oh my god.
But when he was done having his little conversation with his fucking, Hitler buddy and shit, he's, like, trying to fucking talk to me because I'm next to him and shit, and I'm just no-selling this motherfucker like I don't even speak English. I'm like, no, we're not doing this because you pissed me off so much in the fucking 5-second conversation you have with that other motherfucker that you don't want me to talk to you. Because I will put your old ass on your spot.
Take the fucking chair off your ass, watch you break a hip, old man. Like, they'll be like, oh, what'd you do to that old man? Fuck that guy.
Yeah, won't you go fucking have an early bird special somewhere and leave me the fuck alone?
Yeah.
Trying to get comics, motherfucker. Like, there was a lot of graphic novels and stuff, too. Like, a shitload.
There was books upon
hardcovers and
there was
shit.
A lot of stuff under there. I mean, for me, this is like, next time they do it, I'm definitely saying Friday, we gotta be there opening up, because it's like, you see the difference when you go there the first day, like, right when it opens, and to when the first time we went, like, on the shitty day, and it was like, there's a difference, because motherfuckers are in there cherry picking all of that shit. Like, saw there was a fucking, somebody managed to grab Game of Thrones season 1 like DVD in like 5 minutes, 5-10 minutes.
Wish I had seen that shit, actually. But I mean, there's all kinds of cool shit in there. There was no lack of cool shit. No. Like, I ended up getting the kid a little Cthulhu shirt that was badass for like $1. I
got fucking Naked Heat, the fucking Richard Castle fucking book and shit like that.
Damn right.
Like, so if I ever see Nathan Fillion, I'm gonna have to have him sign it. And shit. Then there was that new 52 books. Like, I got DVDs, books, comics, like all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, I spent like $40 in there, and I got a shitload of stuff. Like, it was a damn good deal. And that's always a lot of fun to fucking go in there and do that thing. But I tell you what, it was nuts to butts in there. It was like nuts to butts and hillbillies and body odor.
It will drain you quickly.
God, seriously, I was fucking dripping with sweat like after about 15 minutes.
Like that. I mean, like, it was just draining fucking for the dumbasses. Like,
oh, there was some severe stupidity happening in there. There was no lack of fucking, banjos playing in my head when we were in there.
Some of the most awkward body shapes I have ever seen in my life. Literally, I saw things walking around that literally looked like somebody had like 75% of the way pushed a biscuit can up and then just left it there. Like,
you ain't fucking just whistling Dixie. Like it's the dregs of humanity in that motherfucker.
Yeah, it was quite interesting.
But it was fun. We had a good time. And then I went to Burger King and spent $14 on fucking burgers, which I didn't mean to, but I'm not smart enough to say junior in front of a chicken sandwich, apparently. So, but we had some awesome new milkshakes that they have. One of them was a Fruit Loop, and one of them was a Lucky Charms. I got the Fruit Loop, and you got the Lucky Charms. What did you think of those?
It was fucking tasted amazing.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I highly recommend.
Yeah.
It was super fucking awesome. Scrum-diddle-delicious.
Yeah.
No, it was super fucking cool. It was super fun times and happiness. And I enjoyed it. And I love it every year when it comes around. And it's always fun to go to for the cheapity cheap shit.
And we got coupons out of it.
Coupons?
Coupons. And we can go to the stores and buy more shit.
And give them the rest of my money. I feel like I spent so much fucking money this time. Like, when I got paid, there was so much shit that had to come out right off the top. There was, like, several $100s for bills, and I had to go buy the kid a TV because the TV that you loaned her just is not working right. Because probably that she left it on all fucking night.
Yeah.
But really, though, from, like, the time we plugged it in, it never quite played DVDs the right way. So I get that part of it, but, like, it just...
I don't understand that, because when I used it, it would work fine. It played DVDs fine for me. So.
It never really did. Like, every time I tried to do it, it would try to play it and then not, But $75 there, and like fucking. So we needed a DVD player for her, and our friend Tara, which we've talked about millions of times on here, she was like, "Well, I have a PS2 that my soon-to-be ex-wife gave her, which used to be mine. Whatever." She was like, "You can have it. I'll bring it over." And I was like, oh, okay, cool. So she did bring it over. She's like, it's dusty. It probably needs to be cleaned out. So I went and got some canned air, and I sprayed the shit out of that bastard. And unfortunately, it'll turn on, but it doesn't read discs. And then I remembered, oh yeah, the reason we stopped using that is because it didn't read discs anymore.
Fair enough.
So yeah, that's on me. But... And then she was like, it's so funny because like I just went out and spent $80 on a television and like, whatever else, and I bought her some other stuff that day too. And then when that fucking PlayStation would not work, man, I saw the tears starting to happen, and I was like, hey, well, a little fucking respect here. Like, I just blew $80 to get you a television and some other shit.
Because the PlayStation 2 was like a bonus.
Yeah, it was free.
Like, you didn't even specifically say like, hey,
right. She was like, I know, I'm sorry, I just really wanted to try it and play it. I'm like, ugh. But what annoyed the shit out of me, though, is I hooked up that TV, and fucking, when we hooked up my brand new awesome TV that I got, in the work contest, that's like 4K Ultra and all that shit, and we did a channel like antenna search, it came up with nothing. So I plug in here a little $75 19-inch TV from Best Buy, do a channel search, and it magically finds 3 fucking channels. And I was like, what the fuck? It's got like Fox, some weird channel that plays like YouTube fails, but it's not the same fail channel that's on the weird TV thing that's on mine, and a sports channel. And she was like, I don't have anything to watch. I'm like, you got 3 channels. This is like the 60s all over again. You watch that shit.
Yeah, TVs where you had to go click.
Yeah, ka-chunk. Oh man, we had that TV when I was a kid. The ka-chunk, like the fucking knob. There wasn't no remote. Yeah, you had to fucking wrestle that knob. Like,
if that knob broke, man,
you were so fucking boned. Yeah. So I'm like, be thankful for fuck's sake.
We're gone, Joe.
Nah, she's a good kid for the most part. She's as good as any kid is gonna be.
Yeah.
Ultimately, no, but it just like, man, that's fucking it drains. There's so much shit. Like, adulting sucks is ultimately what the point of that is. Then of course after you're broke, then you see all these Kickstarters and other cool shit that you want to fucking donate money to.
And being like, hey, guess what they've got at Mars right now?
Yeah,
like,
calling me like before I walk out of work at 7 o'clock, so everybody that I work with knows that your ringtone is the boyfriend song from Big Time Rush. They're like, I'm like sitting there talking or whatever, about to walk out the door, and then I'm like, looking for a boyfriend out of my fucking pocket. And everybody's like, what the fuck? And I'm like, I love Big Time Rush. Shut up.
I'm glad I could make that day possible.
Whatever, I owned it. I don't give a shit.
It's true. It's fair.
Oh God.
Yeah. Well.
I think this is the only thing that's the biggest thing that's different about this summer as opposed to last summer is like neither one of us were working really last summer.
No, because I was I was off from school.
And fucking, we spent so much more time in the pool so far than we have this. I think we've been like you've been once,
Twice,
and I've been twice. So fucking, that's it. It's just like
also too. The other difference is it's not controlled anymore.
No, it's not. The Lanity's reign of terror has ended.
Well, no, actually, not anymore. No.
Well, in theory, it has. Yeah.
But she still apparently fucking holds a cell phone to the police station. I swear to God, if I see her do that shit again while I'm out there, I'm just gonna be like, "Who the fuck are you to even be like doing this shit?"
Pardon me, Land Manatee. Can we have a word?
You to go fuck off and go to a taco stand, you fat hooligan. Jesus Christ.
Oh my God. So there's no shortage of comic news these days. Great segue. There's no shortage of comic news right now.
Yeah, segue.
Big piece of comic news that you were just talking about before we came on the air was the new Thor.
Yeah, they in the because they had split the comic series. There was the Unworthy Thor, and then there was the Mighty Thor. Mighty Thor was Jane Foster after she had taken over the Mjolnir. The 616 universe Mjolnir after Thor had lost it and all that shit. When you eventually find out as you get through the Unworthy Thor, which was only 5 issues long, and at the end of it, you find out why he lost the ability to hold the hammer, and then he was going to try and get the Ultimate Thor's hammer. That by the end of it, he basically makes the choice to be, no, but he said he's going to guard it until a person comes along that is worthy of it.
Right.
And well, in the Mighty Thor number 20 or 25, at the end of it, somebody does come along who apparently is worthy, and it's interesting who it turns out to be. And I mean, it's already out, so I'm pretty sure.
Should we spoiler alert on that?
Go ahead, spoiler alert.
Spoilers.
Spoiler alert. We're going to divulge who it is. The new, as referred to, War Thor is none other than Volstagg.
Volstagg the Voluminous.
Yeah.
Or now Volstagg the fucking ass whooper.
Yeah. Volstagg has taken up the hammer, and I'm not going to talk about the story, like how it leads up to it. I think you guys should go get it because it's very interesting. Because a lot of you had that same reaction, Volstagg, Volstagg, and it's like, yeah, at first you would be like, what? And
Tubby
then
beer drinker,
but then when you see what happens to him to where lead up to it, it becomes very. You understand why,
right?
And I think it's a really brilliant piece of writing, for the story. So I would definitely check that out. There was that as far as
I haven't read any modern Marvel in so fucking long. Like I did pick up a couple back issue one shots and some A-Force and some stuff like that at the sale, and
I picked up that issue 2 of that next Avengers one where it's that had the evil Reed Richards.
The only modern, well, it's not Marvel, but I was going to say, the only, ongoing stuff right now that I'm picking up new is the Green Lantern Planet of the Apes crossover, which is fucking amazing. I'm 4 issues in, and I'm fucking sold on it so hard. I love what they've done with the story. I love that it's classic Planet of the Apes. I love, everything they've done with it. It's just brilliant. It's really, really well done.
Something that I need to go back and kind of start collecting again is I have the issues 0 and 1 of the that Power Rangers, and I need to go and start collecting it because the storyline gets really interesting because you need an alternate Earth like Power Rangers, the black planet dimension Earth and stuff. In that one, Tommy is still evil and still works for Rita, and he has taken over both the Green and the White Ranger powers, and he calls himself Drakon, and he's killed a bunch of like the people.
Damn.
Billy's dead in it, and like he controls these forces, which there are different squads of Rangers that work for him. Like the Pink Rangers are snipers, the Yellow Rangers are like spies, assassins, and shit like that, and they look really cool.
Yeah.
But
fascinating.
All the other Power Rangers are all resistance fighters. Like you have like Trini and Aisha and all like everyone who was like an original Mighty Morphin one, like Adam and all those guys are there, but they're not. They've lost all their coins. Like basically, Drakon went and took all the coins and shit, and it's really interesting because then Tommy's still alive. But our Tommy's still good, and, the Green Ranger. But in this time world, like the other one, he's bad. And they're doing a one-shot of like a prequel of his origin story, so you find out what happens to him to make him stay evil. Like he ends up never going good.
Wow.
He ends up taking the White Ranger power and like taking the power, but forsaking fucking Saba, because Saba's like, no, this isn't. And he's like, fuck you, Sword. Like I'm the master, kind of like.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, so it's interesting. It's very dark.
Yeah, it sounds really cool.
Yeah, so I got to go back and start collecting the back issues of it because it's like it's very interesting. Like it's that this whole like Power Rangers with a darker twist to it, especially with like the original stuff. Ever since that guy, they did that fan film. Mm-hmm. People are like, you know what? I like that idea.
Yeah, the Vanderbeek thing. Yeah,
where they where it kind of it gives a little bit more of a credence to it. Like you darken it up a little bit, and you're like, man, Power Rangers with a little dirt on it is pretty awesome.
No, of course.
So, which kind of brings me to the movie itself, the new movie that just came out not too recently. There was talk about whether or not they would do another. A second one or not, because it did okay in the theaters, but it didn't do spectacular like they thought. Like it did pretty well.
It did well enough.
Yeah, but apparently the merchandise sales for it did fucking so good. They're doing a second movie.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, which is cool because they're bringing in the Green Ranger.
Yeah, that was definitely teased at the end of the first one.
Yeah. So that I'm looking forward to that. I mean, it's interesting. And guess what the new Legacy thing is that I just saw for pre-order that you can get on Toys R Us?
What's that?
It's the Red Ranger sword.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, it's like $89, full metal sword. I'm like, yep, that's coming home with Daddy.
That is full papa.
So far, the only thing that I haven't been able to get is the wrist communicators, because those were really only sold in the UK, bastards. So I got to order that and try and get the Green Ranger, White Ranger, one of that. But yeah, I'm getting that sword.
Yeah.
And
that sounds awesome.
Yeah. And they have the helmet, the Red Ranger helmet at GameStop. The guy was like, you could try that on if you want. I was like, no. Because if I put that on,
it's coming home.
Coming home. That's just how it is. That's why I didn't try on one of the fucking Mass Effect Omni Blades, because they're $30.
$30 right now.
They're $30. And I'm like, dude, it's $30. If I put that on my arm,
coming home.
It's coming home. And the guy was like,
sexy too.
And the guy tried it. The guy who was there, he was like, told me about it. He's like, we tried it on. Like, we took one out of the box and tried it on. He's like, it's fucking sexy. Like, it has the weight to it. It's like durable and shit like that. He's like, it's not one of those like, oh, it's so flimsy. He's like, no, like, I know. I was like, oh, damn it, don't tell me that shit.
I buy enough plastic weapons anyway. I've just fucking bought the Doom Hammer from Warcraft. It was on clearance and I wanted it.
I don't blame him.
It was fucking awesome. And I also got the Batman, the Adam West Batman Batcave set on clearance at Toys R Us, which I had to get after Adam passed away.
I mean, it's the classic one with the cowl down where it's...
And it has the Adam West head interchangeable too, which is fucking awesome. But other comic-y related news out there. This is more movie news. DC. There's a big rumor right now that DC is going to be ramping up the amount of movies that they're putting out every year. Mm-hmm. There was an interview with Humberto Gonzalez from The Wrap, who was talking to the studio, and essentially they're saying that they're trying to be making 3 to 4 movies a year.
Yeah.
At this point, and
that sounds like a lot, and in essence, it is for a studio to be making that much of a year is. But when you think about where Marvel's at now,
Yeah.
They alone have almost they'll be putting out 5 movies this year. So, I mean, DC's just trying to ramp up just to kind of get up to where they're at.
Right.
There's also an article reading about what kind of effect Joss Whedon will have on the Justice League and just the DC universe itself.
Right.
After seeing what Wonder Woman did, you know, the WB came out and was like, Warner Bros. Came out and said, you know, maybe we did go too dark in the beginning, you know, but we were trying to, you know, do our own thing.
Right.
You know, and I understand that. You can't fault them because it's like either you do your own thing and you get compared against Marvel, or you do the same thing and they just say you're jocking off of Marvel.
Exactly.
So, I mean,
you're fucked if you do and fucked if you don't. You just kind of have to figure out what you're willing to do.
So they're talking about that's going to take a little bit of a change with Snyder stepping out on Justice League and Joss Whedon stepping in and doing a bunch of reshoots. I mean, when they said a bunch, they were talking about, like, I think he kind of went in and was like, yeah, you're starting to do that thing again, so we're going to, like, try and, you know, pull it back a little bit and kind of do more of that light side stuff, because Wonder Woman had a good amount of lightness to it, and then from what I understand, Aquaman's the same way. Aquaman's supposed to be, they are relating the story to a lot of that, like Raiders of the Lost Ark, and what was the one with Douglas and
Romancing the Stone?
Yeah, Romancing, a lot of that. Like, apparently him and Mara aren't going to get along when they first meet each other, and it's going to be like a, you know, Indiana Jones questy type thing. And I'm like, with comedy, I'm like, dude, it's Momoa, he can do it, and I'm excited for it.
Oh yeah, he's fucking amazing.
I mean, he stole the Justice League trailer. When you saw that full one, he was what everybody was talking about. So I think it's good. I don't mind them being a little bit darker, but you know, than say Marvel. But yeah, I don't think they need to go super dark.
No, I mean, I don't think they need to go super dark either.
And
they just kind of have to find their own way. Like, I know they're gonna. There's already criticism that Joss Whedon is doing it because everybody's like, oh well, yeah, he did the Marvel movies, now he's gonna come in and do the DC movies and shit. And I'm be honest with you, I'm not the world's. Okay, I don't like Joss Whedon. I'm not the world's biggest fan. No, I really just don't like him.
Yeah, but you gotta look at it though. Like, if people want to say that shit, like, Joss Whedon really doesn't have, like, he did the Avengers. That was it.
Yeah.
Like, and he did the, like, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., like the first.
Yeah, his brother is one of the main people for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
But I mean, that's it. Like, Joss Whedon hasn't done every movie for Marvel. Like, that's the thing. So
I think in some respect he set a lot of tone though with the Avengers movie.
he did, but the thing was, like, Avengers set a tone, but, like, Marvel Universe had already been set by a lot of the movies building up to Avengers.
And then
so
ultimately, also, the Russo brothers really have done more in the Marvel Universe, you know, cinematically than Joss Whedon's done. So.
And you see, like, they're the ones now heading over the entire, like, you know, Avengers Infinity War setup there and Civil War.
Yeah, absolutely. And considering, like, a lot of tentpole franchises are kind of dead right now, like they were talking about, like, Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings are kind of dead at this point, and, like, you see what happened with the new Transformers movie being basically just a giant flop.
Oh yeah,
it only did $36 million in 3 days.
Yeah,
that's nothing for that.
It movie. Was, from what I understand, reading about it, critically on Rotten Tomatoes, it's at 16%. It is the worst movie of the summer, possibly of the year, based off what the critics are saying. Mm-hmm. Every critic I've read that they've showed is like, if you can even understand what the storyline of this fucking movie is, we'll give you money. Like, it's so fucking stupid.
You were talking. I haven't. Okay, the only one I've seen is the first one. Like,
I've seen them all.
Literally never seen any of the rest of them. Mm-hmm. And you were talking about some ridiculous shit from the story, and I was just like, my mind is boggled by the stupidity of this shit. Mm-hmm. Even Mark Wahlberg at this point is like, yeah, I'm not doing any more of that shit.
Mm-hmm. And he's only been in. He's only been in the second one.
2 of them.
Yeah. It's that fucking stupid, but
you know when Shia LaBeouf won't come back. Like,
yeah.
Now you can't even get Mark Wahlberg to go do more than 2.
No,
like,
I mean, yeah, that's bad. But they said in just for the movie alone, it was $200 million. That's not including any of the marketing stuff.
Yeah.
It was $200 million just to make the movie. And they said a lot of the critics were saying this isn't like. The other ones kind of had like premise, storyline type stuff. They were literally like, there was enough storyline to get you from one action sequence to the next. It is literally one giant action
I felt like all of it
sequence.
is that, though.
It is, but like they were basically saying the dialogue all just leads to the next. Like that's what it is. It's all fight next to fight next to fight. Like it's like that. That's all it is. It's
what is that thing you told me before? And I just like could not fucking. Did you say seriously that Shia LaBeouf was supposed to be a descendant of Merlin? Are you shitting me with that? That can't be real.
No, that is.
I cannot fucking. I swear to God, he said to me the Witwickian line.
Yes. So basically, one of the articles I read where they were talking about the movie and stuff says that the female in there, because it was one of those like what happened, like the fate of Sam Witwicky's character.
Who gives a fuck? No,
actually, a lot of people wanted to know.
Oh my God, I hate Shia LaBeouf.
Well, you do, but a lot of people don't.
Dude, I can't remember anybody even liking his character.
They
Even the
don't
people that like
it,
the movie.
But they don't care about liking it. They just want to know what happened. Like, it was one of those things where he was, like, in it for 3 and then gone, and now all of a sudden Bumblebee's by himself and all that shit.
Bumblebee Turner.
So, apparently, the girl in the 5th one, his Anthony Hopkins' character tells her that she is... that she is she is the last of the Witwickian
Oh
line,
my God!
Which the Witwickian line is apparently descended from Merlin.
This hurts my soul.
And apparently they talk about it, and somewhere in the 5 years between 3 and 4 of the Transformers movie, Shia LaBeouf's character dies somehow.
Thank God.
Yeah. But apparently up until then, so Sam Witwicky was Witwickian
Witwickian line, people.
Witwickian bloodline.
This is what Michael Bay jerks off to.
Yeah. and here's the other thing, though. But like Mark Wahlberg even said this. Like Michael Bay has plans for more of them. Like
not now.
Well,
the studio is not going to pay another $200 million for this fucking shit when it ain't making money.
It's Michael Bay, dude. Michael Bay tells the studio what he's going to do, and the studio's like, okay.
As long as it makes money, but this ain't making money.
Yeah, but he owns a lot of that studio, so he basically just be like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to fucking do it.
It's going to be like Battlefield Earth when nobody fucking goes to see it.
Yeah. Well, we'll also have to see. It might do like what happened with Warcraft and what was the
It's
other
making
one?
money internationally, but it's not making as much as they hoped.
Yeah. Like Warcraft is going to have a sequel, but that's because like its international numbers were fucking amazing. Yeah. Compared to domestic. Good job. So, I mean, we may not have to deal with it much longer, but I don't see them stopping.
The
Witwickian line. But to also make you even more excited is like they showcase the timeline for the Avatar sequels.
Oh yeah, so my friend at work was showing me this, and I was like, "Why would anyone possibly care?" But for one thing,
5 of them.
Yeah, 5, and they're all like right in a row too. It's like, oh, let's wait like 10 years between,
11 years between.
Yeah, and then let's do like 4 of them in a row.
Then it's 2019, 2020, 2022.
What the fuck?
Yeah, like, and the thing is like 2 was supposed to come out a while ago, but it's been delayed, and fucking James Cameron says it's because where the first one came out right when 3D came out, and it basically revolutionized 3D, which I will say...
To some extent, he's right.
Well, I'll agree with him, because honestly, as far as 3D movies, I still say it's the best 3D movie I ever saw.
It did nothing for me. It's pretty, but it dances with wolves with blue rabbits.
Well, no, I'm not talking about the story. I'm just talking about
I know, but as a
3D.
movie, it's totally forgettable to me. Like, it's pretty to watch, but it's like just.
But it is the one of the movies that has utilized the 3D to its most max capabilities when it first came out. So I mean, it'll hold a standard for that. Well, he said though for this one, he is trying to basically do something with 3D that revolutionizes it again to where they don't need glasses.
Whatever, man.
I was like, okay.
I still have zero interest in any of
that's
this.
the thing. And that's the other thing too. Is like, dude, you waited so long that any audience you may have had is like gone. But apparently, Sigourney Weaver and Stephen Lang have both signed on to come back.
God damn, man! By the time that comes out, Stephen Lang's gonna be 150.
Well, the funny thing about it is, both those characters are dead. Yes, I know.
I don't know, dude. I watched it once and I forgot it about 2 days later. Like it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's crazy because of all the shit that's
The only thing that pops in my head, I swear to God, the only thing that pops in my head when I think of Avatar is Blue Rabbit's fucking robot chicken. Like that's all that I ever think of.
Yeah.
Nothing from the movie itself stood out enough to be memorable. Like it's just, I don't know. The creature designs were like just really bland, like bland day glow creatures. Like, I don't know who did the creature designs for the movie, but I don't know. Their creature designs were so fucking forgettable. It was just like every fucking bland 3D alien you've ever seen.
I mean, the aerial creatures weren't that... Like, they looked like they were more colorful versions with wings of the things that were in Pitch Black with Vin Diesel.
Yeah, or like,
they
they look like the bugs from Starship Troopers a little bit.
But like the panther creature was kind of cool. I dug that one. But I mean, that was it.
But again, they're like... I've struggled to even remember half these creatures. Or anything from that fucking movie. Like, yeah. I don't know. It was just like utterly fucking forgettable movie for me. But some people are like super into it, you know, and probably still.
I mean, probably.
But I don't know. Like, no fucks will I ever give. I can't imagine ever actually going to a theater to see one. Like,
but I mean,
Jesus, no.
That's what I'm saying. There's a lot of like weird shit coming out. So.
Yeah, it's true, and that's cool and whatever. But it's not for me. It's just so beyond not for me. The thing that I'm excited about currently, which it's already on Netflix, so I'm going to have to find time to watch it, is the new Glow series that's on Netflix.
Oh, yeah.
We watched a trailer for that. It looks fucking amazing. Yeah, and like a lot of our friends on Facebook have been just fucking screaming about how awesome it is, and like, it looked amazing from just the trailer. And I'm actually old enough to vaguely remember Glow.
Yeah, because that was what?
It was
late 70s, early 80s?
Yeah, it was like when I was, a kid, it was like kind of that prime time of rock and wrestling and stuff. Like, and I watched a documentary about it not too long ago, too, on Netflix, which is pretty interesting. But, I mean, Ivory from WWE, passed there. She got her start in Glow years ago. Yeah. So, yeah, it's an interesting story. And I think, from what I understand, that they don't have, like, any actual character rights to any of the people who are really in it. So it's all kind of just versions of like more like tribute kind of. Yeah. But it would be interesting, it's still going to be interesting to watch, and I'm really looking forward to watching it.
Like, Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling, you could pretty much get away with saying the characters. Most people would be like, who is that?
Well, the thing is, they're supposed to be doing a new version of it. Yeah. Like, it's supposed to be starting up again, like, a couple different promoters and the guy who originally started it are all kind of working together to start a new version of it.
It's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Because the wrestling landscape where
But you know what, though? The all-female promotions that exist, like Shimmer, actually do good business.
They do, but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The stuff that's around, they're going to have to compete with a whole new level.
Yeah.
Because the stuff with women that goes over is not this, like, pretty patty cake fucking bullshit. It's hardcore women's wrestling.
Yeah.
Like
real wrestling.
Like Shimmer sounds like it would be some frou-frou sequence
but it's
shit,
not. It's amazing,
It's
talented women.
Amazing, talented, technical, and aggressive women's wrestling. And that's the thing. Like, these guys are not going to be able to just like, some leg warmers and shit. Like, no, these bitches better be able to wrestle. We're not talking like Kelly wrestle. We're talking about like,
God.
Yeah.
Well, even WWE is doing, ramping up their women's stuff with doing that Mae Young Classic. They're trying to basically recreate what they did with the Cruiserweight Classic and kind of do their female version of it. And they're getting women from all over the world, in different promotions, Japan, Mexico, all kinds of places, to do like a really epic tournament.
And we'll see.
I would love to see it happen.
I would love to see it happen.
I would love to see it happen.
WWE has never quite hit women's wrestling on the mark.
There was a time, like, I would say, like, towards the end of, like, Trish and Mickey and like, they, like, 2004-ish, like, into 2006, there was some, definitely, like, that was the prime time of, like, the modern women's wrestling era. And, like, TNA really a few years ago figured it out, too.
At that time, though, they were still behind where everybody else was.
They were.
Because Japan's wrestling was fucking insane.
Yeah.
TOA, or TNA, ROH, like, all these other have treated their women's like they're just as big of a stars. Like, they had to have the skill.
Yeah, it's
Even
true.
NXT's women's division has always outshined WWE's.
Yeah, and that's starting to become more of a prominent thing now. Like, now that the women's division is doing so amazingly, in NXT, it's starting to bleed onto the main roster now with a lot of these girls coming up and some really more, high quality wrestling actually happening on the regular show.
The problem is it's unfortunately getting slammed together with piss poor WWE writing.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Well, since we're already talking about it,
Do it.
yeah, I want to talk a little bit about wrestling. I want to say, like, I'm a big Cody Rhodes fan, and I always have been. And he won
Definitely has the skills.
won the ROH World Title, beat Christopher Daniels, and he's the first member of the Rhodes family to win a major World Heavyweight Championship since Dusty beat Ric Flair in 1986.
86. And
Yep.
it is 2017.
Yep. So
Let that sink in.
31 years ago.
31 years ago. And the only reason Dusty beat Rick is because he was so fucking beloved. They had no fucking choice but to let it happen.
Yeah, it's a hell of a thing. Cody was so underutilized in WWE. It's criminal, really, considering the level of talent he has. I was really jazzed to see him when I was watching the Arrow finale too. That they got to do another turn on there, which was really fucking cool. But no, I'm really happy for him. He had to go to the hospital afterwards. He got 6 stitches in his lip. But I don't know, from what I heard, it was an amazing match. I haven't seen anything, but I'd love to see it. But no, congratulations to Cody because he's fucking amazing, and I want to see nothing but goodness from the Rhodes because as much as I love Dusty.
Especially considering the best fucking storyline they ever gave him was the legacy stuff.
Yeah, which should have done better than it did.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm so behind on wrestling right now. It's ridiculous. Like, I just
Well,
I don't
right
have
now,
time to watch it.
storyline-wise, they've got Finn Balor feuding with Elias Sampson, the Drifter.
The Drifter. Fuck. The big buff guy who plays a guitar. Yeah.
He can. He actually can play the guitar. It's not great, but he can play it.
Right.
So there's that. There's the awesomeness of Samoa Joe, Brock Lesnar. I mean, that to me is just perfect timing. Like, I'm glad that Joe's finally getting some showcase too.
Me too, and I really would love to see Joe take that belt off Brock Lesnar. I don't
And
know
I
if
think
they're
they're
willing to
going
do
to.
it, but I hope so.
I think they are because it's a smart play.
It is.
It is the smartest play because, like I said, Joe is that mid-ground guy that you can see him being a badass and beating Brock Lesnar because
Right.
he is the Samoan submission machine.
Right.
You've seen him epic battles with Kurt Angle. You know he can do it. And you've seen Kurt Angle go with Brock Lesnar, and you know they can do it.
Oh, yeah,
Because nobody
absolutely.
believed at first, like, could Kurt Angle beat Brock Lesnar? And then, yeah, he can. He can fucking, hold him to toe. Brock's a fucking big guy, but it's Kurt fucking Angle. Well, it's Samoa fucking Joe. He's a submission
Yeah.
machine. So you can believe Samoa could take out Brock Lesnar.
Absolutely.
But then you can also believe a guy like Finn Balor, who's more of like an AJ Styles type guy, could beat Samoa Joe.
Oh, yeah,
But
absolutely.
you could not believe that Finn Balor could beat Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, I don't think most people would necessarily believe it.
And that's not necessarily purely based off talent, because talented-wise, I think Finn Balor could beat Brock Lesnar.
No, absolutely.
It's the hype. Brock has been hyped so bad now, to the point that he's unbeatable. Because unlike Roman Reigns, who did a pussy-ass job of beating fucking Undertaker and now is just kind of fucking skirting away with that bullshit,
I hate Roman
you
Reigns.
know, Brock decimated the Undertaker, the dead man,
Yeah.
like he broke the record, he did all that stuff, that heightened it. Then you had him go toe-to-toe with Goldberg, and you did that whole thing. And then they finished that the way they did, which only in turn just circle-jerked the fucking Brock Lesnar ego train of, like, hype,
That was a joke.
It was 2 ass whoopings, 2 like really quick, just decimatingly ass whoopings by Goldberg to finish in a third where Brock decimates Goldberg, and then Goldberg's like, "Okay, I'm done now."
I'm old and done.
I'm old and done.
I won the world title
Yeah.
for 5 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody cared.
Yep.
Because I'm old, and it was a joke, and my matches were 2 minutes long.
Yeah. I mean, it was unfortunately, this is the problem.
It's a nostalgia thing.
It was a nostalgia thing. It was great to see him come back. He got in great shape for it.
Yeah,
It
he
looked
looked
really good
fantastic.
for his kids. The fans who didn't really know Goldberg too much got to, see him and then go back and see what he was all about. And he is a fucking great, great character. That was awesome. I feel like the first match, yeah, okay, do it a 2-minute, like he just comes in and just fucking wrecks the shit out of fucking Brock. That's cool.
Right.
The second match had no reason to do the exact same thing.
No.
That should have been an actual match.
Yeah.
Like, that should have been a back and forth
The thing
match.
is, in his prime, Goldberg wasn't capable of long matches.
No.
And being 50, he's even less capable of
So it's,
long
you're going to
matches.
get 2 where he fucking decimates,
Yeah.
and then the third one he gets his ass whooped. Unfortunately, it happens. You know,
It
we
was
know
what it was, and it
was
did what
was.
it did. Like,
But then the problem comes in again is like now you've had Brock Lesnar defeat the undefeatable people. You know,
Yeah.
like again now you just added something else to his list. You know, of like okay now he was finally able to defeat Goldberg. Who
Yeah.
else on the list? So who are you going to bring? You tried to have your lovable Dean Ambrose go against it, and that series did nothing.
was a
Everybody
fucking joke.
thought that was shit. You've had Roman Reigns. Nobody cares. That
No,
did
God,
shit.
no.
The only one out of those 3 that even can hold like a decent like character match would have been Seth Rollins, and they played his character smart. Actually, he was
Yeah.
very much like, I know I can't beat him, so I'm gonna fucking sneak my way into the title.
Yeah.
Which was smart. So who are you actually gonna bring in that could physically go toe to toe with Brock Lesnar and get him out off the title? Because he's a part-timer.
Yeah.
You don't need a part-timer.
You need a full-time champion.
Yeah, you need a full-time champion.
Here's what I'm going to say about the whole Goldberg and Brock thing. I feel like that hurt Brock. To me. Because what you're saying, like, everybody's like, oh, Goldberg has a mystique and stuff, but that mystique doesn't exist anymore. Like, you know, he's been beaten many times. Like, yeah, he had his streak or whatever, but he's been beaten many times, and it's been shown that he's easily beatable.
Well, the problem with the mystique, though, is like when he lost the streak,
Yeah.
it was to bullshit and it was to backstage crap.
It was,
with
but then
Kevin
he lost
Nash.
many times legitimately after that. But
Yeah.
what I'm saying, though, is then he's, you know, he did his WWE run, which was less than impressive. And then...
But that was not necessarily his fault.
I wouldn't
That
say
was-
it's not
half.
about fault. It's just
Yeah.
about, like, okay, so you bring this guy back, he's 50. You know, he's in great shape, but he's in great 50-year-old shape. Like, you know what I mean? He's in, like, he's not like Hulk Hogan 50 shape or whatever, but he's like, you know, Vince McMahon 50 shape. And then you put him in there against the guy who you claim is basically the unbeatable guy, who's, like,
Yeah.
destroyed The Undertaker, destroyed Roman Reigns, destroyed John Cena, all that shit, Triple H. And then this 50-year-old guy who hasn't wrestled in 15, 20 years just comes in and decimates him 2 times in a row.
Yeah.
To me, that hurts Brock's mystique. That makes him like, okay, this is Brock Lesnar, yeah, but he just got his ass beat by some retired guy like 2 times in a fucking row.
Yeah.
Like,
I
that
mean,
really
I understand
kinda-
what they were trying to do
I get
because
it.
it was the one guy who
Yeah.
he could not beat, who beat him before. But the problem is now is like, one, Goldberg's signature move, the spear,
Yeah.
is no longer the move it once was. It
No.
used to, when Goldberg held the spear, it was a move.
Yeah.
It was a like, God, you fear getting speared.
Right.
Then guys like Rhino, then Edge,
Mhm.
then Roman Reigns, like
Yeah.
all these guys who were kind of like, meh, started using it, and the move became less and less,
No, it's...
you know...
Yeah, it's barely a finisher anymore. It's like a mid-match comeback spot, you know, move. It's just like,
Yeah.
there's no mystique there anymore. And like, the one thing they really could have done to make it make sense, they didn't play up nearly enough.
Yeah.
Like, when it first happened, you know, it got mentioned that Brock had diverticulitis and that, like, this was a serious sore spot for him, but it was only barely mentioned. This should have been, to me, the selling point of that storyline.
Yeah.
Not that, you know, this 50-year-old motherfucker came back and kicked Brock Lesnar's ass.
It's just
But the reason that he
Yeah.
kicked his ass is because Brock has a sore spot or he has a fucking Achilles heel, and it's that diverticulitis. And fucking, you could die. You could be dead from the wrong hit to that area.
But
This is
instead
why
they-
he had to retire. You could have played like... This is why we needed Jim Ross. This is why we still need Jim Ross. Because fuck Michael Cole and fuck all the rest of that goddamn announce crew. The only one of them that was worth a shit was Mauro Ranallo, and they fucking shit all over him. Although, that's another story I'm going to talk about in a second anyway. But... If Jim Ross had been there for that shit, or Foley, or any of those guys who actually know their ass from a hole in the ground, yeah, I'm talking to you, JBL, fucking, they would have been like, oh my god, you know, like, Brock's diverticulitis, this is what retired him
right
from
now
mixed martial arts,
it's
you know.
Booker T and Cole.
Yeah, and Booker T's fine as a color guy, but he's not a fucking main announcer, and Michael Cole is a goddamn puppet. He doesn't. He has no fucking ability to sell a match. Zero fucking ability. He has not evolved whatsoever from 1997 Michael Cole till now. And without a strong announcer like that, even Shivani would have fucking known how to play this up. Like,
Yeah.
come on, man. It's easy. Here it is. It's tailor-made. This storyline makes so much fucking sense.
And instead, they went with his ribs.
Yeah, I don't
they didn't
know,
go with the
motherfucker, it's not his
diverticulitis. They did
ribs.
his ribs.
But I don't know. It's over and done with, and it happened, and whatever, and it sucked to
Yeah.
me. But, you know...
But this is how you transition. This is how
Yeah.
you transition from the old guard to the new guard, where
Mhm.
it's like Brock is you basically made Brock unbeatable.
Yeah.
Storyline wise.
Yeah.
So you gotta have somebody who's gonna go fucking toe to toe with him.
Yeah.
And this is smart because who was the last person that he fought? Mark Hunt.
Yeah.
Who's a fucking big ass Samoan.
Yep.
So who are you gonna have him face now that can go down with him? Samoa Joe.
Yeah.
Who people truly believe is the one and only. Like when fucking Reigns comes out and starts talking about like Samoan shit, they basically are like,
Joe's gonna kill you.
Yeah, Joe's gonna kill you because he's the fucking Samoan. Like he is the true Samoan that will like smack the shit out of you.
Yeah.
You know.
Joe's worked hard and he deserves his due.
Yeah.
It's about fucking time.
Yeah.
But, no, I mean, I'll be interested to see what happens. At Great Balls of Fire, the next pay-per-view, that'll be interesting.
Yeah, other stuff in storyline was they had
Fire.
Yeah. They had
fuck?
Joe and Roman kind of do a spot with each other where Roman's doing that, like, this is my yard. I don't know. I'm just going to call you Joe because I don't know who you are. Like, I'm not even going to respect you enough to call you Samoa Joe.
Please.
You're just Joe to me. Oh, no, they let him back it up, too. They let him basically put Joe out of the ring with a fucking punch. And Joe fucking kind of... That's where it went. And then they had a match. Like, basically Joe kept trying to put him in the coquina clutch, and Roman was able to get out of it every time, like not let it sink it in and shit. And then they have a match, and during the match, all of a sudden the Titantron comes up, and a fucking ambulance starts backing up into the thing, and then all of a sudden out of the fucking ambulance comes fucking Braun Strowman. Because Roman had put him out of commission.
Yeah.
He was supposed to be out for like 6 months, and the last we ever saw of him, he was being taken away by an ambulance. So the ambulance pulls back in. He just comes back out. And he's just like, oh, you know. And they're like, oh, he's not here. This is just actual footage from somewhere. And then nope, Braun Strowman shows up and fucking gets Roman's enough attention that fucking Joe puts him in the coquina clutch and wins. Like chokes his ass out. Braun shows up, basically grabs him by his little chest protector pad, lifts him up, and then face plants his ass like just right on the mat and just like, I'm not done with you. A Great Balls of Fire. We're doing an ambulance match. You know, so it's those two, and then like Joe and Brock and stuff. So
The Great Balls of Fire is killing me.
I don't
and
know.
And blue suede shoes. We're gonna have a fucking match. Yeah.
And shit. I'm like, who came
And a whole lot of shaking going on. We're gonna be getting down,
who
motherfucker.
came up with the name for this fucking
Is Johnny B.
thing?
Bad wrestling at this show? Like, what the fuck, man?
Marty McFly's just gonna be like, yeah. And I'm like, who the fuck came up with this name? Like, Great Balls of Fire.
Great Balls of Fire.
Bring back fucking In Your House or something. Shit, like Great
Literally,
Balls of
damn
Fire.
near anything is better. Like,
Start borrowing from old WCW's, Bash the Beach or some
Balls
shit.
of
I don't
fucking
care. The fucking the Great Stampede. Fuck.
Great Balls of fucking
The
Fire.
Great
dude.
Balls of Fire. I was like, oh my god. Like, little
I couldn't cut a
little
promo.
Richard's gonna be, oh,
Yeah,
man,
I couldn't cut a promo. If I were these guys, they just had to fucking say that name. Like, I couldn't cut a promo with a straight face.
Listening to Braun Strowman being like, "A Great Balls of Fire," I'm gonna keep that. I'm like, I can't laugh. It's just fucking.
I'd be like,
hilarious.
at the Twinkle Time Showdown. Like, I'm gonna
At
kick
the
your
Shoots
ass.
and Ladders tickle your butthole match. We're going down. Oh. I'm like, yeah. What the great spit swapping. What the fucking shit is this?
It's ridiculous. Speaking of fighting, though, I have to mention that the Bellator pay-per-view happened recently, and Fedor Emelianenko was just cold-cocked by Matt Mitrione. And it's hard to believe, because, man, when we were younger, it's like Fedor was the guy. He was like that fucking guy who could beat anybody. That guy who had that mystique. Like, holy shit, talk about a mystique.
He was fucking...
He's fucking Fedor. Like,
motherfucker was just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, you come in there, like, it was kind of the same way with, like, Mirko Krokop.
yeah,
and,
all
like,
those
these
guys from
Pride
Pride and shit that had that mystique.
Vanderlei Silva. Like,
Yeah.
these guys were just, like, powerhouses. Like, would come in and cold clock the fucking shit out of guys. Like, you know... And then to see him get fucking beat by the likes of Matt Mitrione, which, I mean, he's not a bad fighter, but he's kind of one of those sometimes...
But he's not a guy you expect to see, like, beat Fedor Emelianenko. Like, those two names don't seem on the same level. But I guess at this point in his career, it kind of is that way. Mm-hmm. And then also, Chael Sonnen beat Vanderlei Silva again.
Which is a match that, which is like had been built up since the Ultimate Fighter.
And he won every single round too. Like every round just kicked his ass.
This is because the problem with Wanderlei is a all or nothing type fighter. Like he's just gonna come at you and Chael's just gonna wait for it and then fucking like pick you apart.
Oh my god, speaking of fucking beatdowns, I don't usually do a lot of news stuff on here, but I saw this news story at work last night, and it was just so fucking amazing that I had to bring it home, and Dave loves it too. So apparently, out in New York, at this chicken restaurant, there was a problem with these teenagers' order. And when I say they say these people are teenagers, but this guy looked like Mark Henry. Like, he was fucking enormous. He made me look small. And his girlfriend, apparently their chicken was cold, and they didn't get enough fries, was their complaint. So the lady who owns the store, a like 50-year-old white lady, gave them their money back, and then they wanted to talk about it, they said, apparently. And she walked out back of the store to talk about it, and then this guy's girlfriend just runs up and proceeds to beat the living piss shit out of this poor woman. I mean, like a circus monkey. Like, she was like doing the fucking like arm flailing beat down from nowhere. So then the lady's 15-year-old daughter is in a truck that's sitting there, and she gets out of the truck, and this big Mark Henry motherfucker punches her right in the fucking face, and she goes down like fucking George Foreman and Ali.
I mean,
like, down.
Ridiculous.
Blip. So apparently the lady got a broken nose and got 2 black eyes, and her daughter got a black eye and a fucking concussion from one punch. And the video is available to see. It's on. I found it on NewYorkPost.com. Apparently it happened in New York, but if you want to look it up for yourself, it's the title of the news story is "Couple Beats Restaurant Owner Her Teen Daughter Over Fast Food Order." I would definitely recommend looking up this video because I mean you can attest to this. The punch that he puts on this poor girl is just insane.
Yeah. Oh my god, dude! It was like one of those like hit her so hard that like her body went straight stiff, but like it was one of those like so hard that the head looks like whiplash, and then she goes back. It was like fuck, dude.
Apparently, they've been charged with like battery and what was the other thing? Let me scroll down the story. But just fucking, oh my god, it's just insane. Like the video it's only about 2 minutes long, but I'm telling you what, it's fucking amazing just to watch it. It's like holy fucking shit. And let's see, considered dangerous, blah blah blah, aggravated battery and cruelty to children. That's an interesting lineup of charges. But yeah, I tell you what, it was pretty fucking amazing.
Yeah.
I feel terrible for this poor lady. There's a picture of them in the article, and she's got like a fucking sideways nose and 2 black eyes.
And dude, she is not a young-looking mom. Like, she looks like she's in her upper 40s, maybe to 50s.
Yeah,
like,
she is not a young woman, and she just got fucking stomped by this lady. They're apparently They say they're teenagers, but they don't look like teenagers. They look like grown-ass people.
The
ones who did it. Yeah.
Bullshit, dude. Those don't look like teenagers. That dude looks like he's in his late 20s.
Alright, this article doesn't say teenagers. The other one that I read originally said teenagers, but this one doesn't. It doesn't say how old they are in here. But it was just, it's absolutely ridiculous. Over some fucking chicken!
That they got their money refunded.
And they got a refund! What the fuck are you that angry about some fucking chicken that you're going to commit a brutal assault? Like, this, what does this say about you as a person? Like, or your personality? Like, that this is your first thought. Like, wow, man, my chicken's cold. I'm about to beat somebody's ass.
They didn't give me enough fries. And my chicken was cold.
Man, you know how many times we've been fucked on fast food orders, and I've never once thought, I'm going to go in there and kick that guy's ass.
And then if his kid tries to come out and say anything to me, I'm going to hit that little fucker with a brick. And I'm like, what the effing hell, dude? Like,
it's just fucking ridiculous. Like, the level of ridiculous just...
They haven't even caught him. They're like, oh, they've got warrants.
They're at large.
Yeah, they're at large. I was like, no, he's large. He's definitely large.
They're armed, dangerous, and please, God, don't fuck up their order.
I hope your kid's not there. If your kid's acting a fool, they'll just grab by his ankle and beat his head against the wall. Fuck.
I hate to laugh about it because that girl like got fucking stomped, but it's just like the video, unfortunately, it's so rough. It's funny in a way, but it's like...
It's just one of those, like, I think all you can really do is laugh because it's like one of those, what the fuck just happened? moments where it's like, this is ridiculous.
It's on
dude.
par with that great video of the chick at the McDonald's drive-thru where she goes like, "I'm gonna fucking Super
assume
Saiyan
I
and
will
shit."
assume my ultimate form and shit. You're like, what the fuck? I'll assume my ultimate form. Like fucking Jolly Twist McFat Boy here is like, man, that 15-year-old's charging me. I gotta stick it. And I mean,
She's coming right for me.
dude, she fucking got stuck, dude. Like, he did it to get her out of the way, but it was like, damn.
There's no justification for that.
No, it was just like I know why he punched her, because she was about to block his like getaway from like his girlfriend whooping his mom's ass. But I was like, could have just pushed the girl down.
Anything,
Fucking,
pie face, anything.
yeah,
Like,
you're big enough and she's tiny enough. You literally could have just did that.
yeah, you could have just
And, like,
swept her to the
just
side.
Swept
Yeah,
her to the side. She'd have fucking gone. No, he fucking Jake Butterbean stuck like Tank Abbott stuck that bitch. Wham! And I mean, she is
stiff as a board. Yeah, a concussion from one punch. That's impressive.
That is
like,
fucking. And I told you
Jesus.
because if you watch it, you will see how it's just one of those. Literally, it's not even a clocks back and hits her. He literally
No, it was just
brings
a
it up
straight
and like Rocky
right.
Sock'em Robot just sticks her and pushes his fist
Yeah.
through her face, and it causes whiplash on her.
Well, like what happened was there was a chair there, like behind the building, and he hit her really hard, and then she kind of like fell back into the building and fell into the chair, but her head definitely wanged the fucking
Oh
building
yeah, it
too.
was just like, oh my god.
It's crazy. I recommend everybody look at it.
Yeah.
I was trying to do Kickstarters a week, but there really isn't a lot that I'm interested in right now. But I did find one, and unfortunately, it ends in 10 hours, so there's like no
Yeah.
time for me to do anything about it. But if anybody listening today is interested, it's fucking amazing. It's called 12 Realms Dungeon Land, and it's there's apparently a 12 Realms game which I'm not familiar with, but it has to do with like fairy tale characters and like Dark World and stuff. And this is a 1 to 4 player multiplayer board game with miniatures and cards and dice and all that cool shit. It looks amazing. There's a video on the Kickstarter that's amazing. They only were looking for $30,000. They've hit 43,952 as of now with 398 backers, and it's got 10 hours left.
Yeah.
If you're a fantasy person, if you like gaming board games, which I know we love,
Yeah.
and you're really into like fantasy and things of that nature, I would really check into it. I don't have too much, the buy-in on just the basic package is only $95. And for an additional $5, I saw that you can add an awesome dice tower, which
Which
towers
is the
are fucking
cheapest
awesome.
dice tower I've ever seen.
Yeah, because dice towers are fucking stupidly overpriced.
Yeah.
But no, check it out. Kind of truncated miniature Kickstarters of the week. But it's 12 Realms Dungeon Land. It has 10 hours as of right now. It's 9:50 a.m. where we are. So if you listen to the show today and you're interested in it, check it out. If not, you can go to tabletopia.com and play an online version of it, which I didn't know about this website, but it's fucking awesome. It's apparently an online sandbox site for playing board games with people through the internet. It's got over 400 games to play for free. Play with friends or anyone in the world. Unlimited possibilities for users. Like, it looks really fucking cool. We're going to have to check into this a little deeper, but I wanted to plug it because it looks fucking amazing. If you guys are gamers and into board games and stuff, like, I'd definitely check that out. But let's see. Let me do a little time check here, because I think we're getting to our time period. Yep, we're at 1 hour and 6 minutes. So
That's not bad.
I think we're gonna wrap it up. We did better this time. We only did 1 show last month. We got 2 in this month.
Holy shit.
And we're not even to the end yet. We're only missing the end of the month by a few days.
Yep.
So hey, one every 2 weeks, not as bad as once a month.
Yeah.
So we're getting a rhythm here. We're getting a rhythm. The Basement of Doom, the miniature truncated Basement of Doom is shaping up too. We've got a shelf up now, and half of it's mine, half of it's Dave's, and it's starting to get full. Your half is much fuller than mine.
My half is full.
But yeah, I will be filling up more of my half when we're finished recording. But is it shilling time, my friend?
Yep, dance movie.
All right, now I want to talk first before we hit shilling time. I want to say that the Ohio Toy and Comic Show is coming up here soon. July 23rd, Sunday, July 23rd, in Dayton at the Holiday Inn. I'll do an official plug on the next show, and I did an official plug, I think, on the last show too. But we're going to be there. It's going to be awesome. There's going to be a lot of awesome stuff going on. Guests. They're going to have a contingency from that Doctor Who con that's coming up there too. Can't remember the name of that one. Do you remember the name of the Doctor Who con? The one that's happening in Dayton. I can't remember. I think it's like Time Lord Expo or something like that.
I think that's what it is. Yeah.
But check out OhioToyandComicShow.com for more details on that one. Pack Rat is coming up having their Not at Comic-Con. There's a lot of people lined up for that one. I think Watson's going to be doing that one and some other folks too. I don't think we're going to be doing it unless it's a last minute sort of thing. But it's the day before the Ohio Toy and Comic Show, so that one's going to be Saturday, July 22nd. So check that one out too. But it's shillin' time. So if you like what you heard today on the Basement Fodder podcast, you can always find us at our website, home of the basementofdoom.wordpress.com. You can find us at our network home of digitalnerdage.com. You can find us on Facebook under a myriad of different places. Todd of Basement Fodder, Dave of Basement Fodder, the original Basement Babe, the Den Mother of Doom, Basement Fodder Podcast, the Todd Files, It Came From Netflix, and of course Titan Trap Customs. And you can also find me under Todd Dave and Dave under Dave of Basement of Doom.
Yep.
You can find us on Instagram and Twitter at Basement Fodder, and of course you can always find us on iTunes as well and Spreaker.com. So that's going to wrap it up for this week's edition of the Basement Fodder Podcast, live as always from the miniature Basement of Doom. I'm Todd.
I'm Dave.
And until next time, the basement door is closed.